to add to this legacy and collectively have agency to address this legacy. Let us take a moment of silence together to consider how we value and respect Indigenous people and their culture in this place we also call home. And now Brandon will lead us in our opening hymn, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. The words will appear on the screen, and it is also number 1008 in our teal hymnal. Please rise as you are able, and let us sing.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. Heart is in a holy place. When we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
Good morning. My name is Kelly McNeil. My name is Reverend Kelly McNeil. I clearly am not used to that yet, but I will try. My pronouns are she, her. We are glad you joined us today, both in person and online. Please let us know that you are here today by filling out our check-in form by scanning the QR code on the screen. This simple act helps us maintain connections within our congregation. There you can also access our digital order of service, our Joys and Sorrows form, and our donation page. If you prefer to use paper, you can turn in your Joys and Sorrows at the back candle table. We have a couple of announcements this morning. Our Labor Day campout is returning. Please see the announcement in Friday News for more information. And if you aren't on our mailing list and would like to be, you can stop at the visitors stand out in the hallway and fill out the form to be put on our list. Beginning Sunday, September 11th, our Sunday mornings are going to look a little bit different than they have this summer. From 9:30 to 10, we will have meditation in the sanctuary. This will be quiet, non-guided meditation, just a space if you would like to come and sit in the quiet. From 10 to 11, we will have community hour. We will have breakfast starting at 10, and classroom space will be available for small groups, classes, meetings, discussions, whatever you wish. You reserve a space with me, and I will find a space for you. From 11 to 12:15, we will have worship and RE. The service will it be in person and online like we've been doing, and RE will be provided during that time. And then finally, from 12:15 to 1, we will have coffee and conversation. Coffee and snacks will be provided. Some Sundays, we will have justice action options available, and our Peace Pals Children's Choir will also practice during this time. You don't have to have that memorized. We're putting it out in email in all of our emails, so you can look at that as well. But now we have a message from our Board of Trustees.
I am Jan Phillips.
And I am Billy Davidson.
And we are the co-chairs of your Board of Trustees. As you likely know by now, the board recently made the difficult decision to place Reverend Dr. Marion Stewart, our senior minister, on administrative leave. We are continuing to pay her full salary and benefits as we work to find a way forward. We have reached out to the UUA and regional resources and have secured assistance from a group called Hope for Us. And this group supports congregations to transform conflict into growth. We have been assigned a team of 2 individuals and will be meeting with them as soon as their schedule allows. We are asking for your patience and understanding. We know that you want information and you want answers that we cannot provide at this time. As this is a personnel issue, we are navigating legal, ethical, and confidentiality issues which limit what we can say right now.
We are planning to hold listening sessions starting within the next 2 weeks. We will send more information as soon as we settle on dates. We don't know what we will be able to tell you at the first session yet, but we want to provide the congregation with the opportunity to be heard. We ask that you hold all involved in your hearts and that you also continue to hold open minds until we are able to share more fully with you. Know that the board is deeply committed to the health and future of this congregation, and we are confident that we will continue to learn and grow together as a community.
Thank you, Jan and Billy. Let's just all take a collective moment of pause and breathe in and out. One more time, in and out. I would now like to invite our children who would like to help light our chalice by bringing in the light to meet Nikki back in the back of the sanctuary and go out into the welcome hall to prepare. Our young people will return in just a few moments. Let us center ourselves as we listen to this morning's prelude.
Thank you, Nathan. It is now time for our children to bring in the light. George. Our chalice lighting words this morning are from Heather K. Daniels, entitled For the Freedom of Faith. Our prophets died for the freedom of faith. We are here in their spirit. We are here to practice and sustain our living tradition, to light a chalice claiming for justice the heat and power of fire. In our free faith, we are here, seeking freedom from despair, the freedom to be loved as ourselves, and the freedom to grow beyond imagination. We are here, gathered in the name of all that we find holy. Let us give thanks for the gift of gathering here. Our chalice is lit. And thank you, George.
All right, yes, thank you, George, for helping light our chalice. We are still seeking Sunday school volunteers. We will not be able to offer coming of age this year unless more folks commit to teaching and providing this milestone experience for our young people. Please email Amber Scott, our Director of Religious Exploration, at amber@firstuu.org to get involved. So to celebrate the end of summer, our kiddos are putting on an impromptu festival on the playground today. After the service, everyone is invited to come and check it out. And now for our story for all ages, which is called Chicken Soup, written by Pamela Mayer and illustrated by Deborah Melman. 2 grandmas, 2 soup pots, 2 family traditions, 2 recipes for chicken soup? Uh-oh. How could a little piece of dough stuffed with meat and floating in a bowl of chicken soup cause a problem? It started one rainy afternoon when I went to my bubby's, my Grandma Ellie's, for lunch. Sophie, darling, here's a nice bowl of hot chicken soup for you. I picked up my spoon and smiled when I saw the dumpling in my soup. Yum! Wonton, my favorite. Wonton? Who's a wonton? Bubby asked. Silly Bubby, in the soup. Sophie, my Zizela, my sweet one, those are kreplach, not wontons. This is a Jewish chicken soup, which I make for you just the way my Bubby made for me. Now eat, it's delicious. For the rest of the afternoon, we played dress up and had a wonderful time. But when Mommy came to pick me up, I heard Bubby muttering about a granddaughter who didn't know the difference between kreplach and wontons. A few days later, I went to my Nai-Nai's, my Grandma Nancy's, for lunch. "Here you are, Sophie, good hot soup," Nai-Nai said. Kreplech," I said. "I love kreplech." "What's kreplech?" Nai-Nai asked. "Silly Nai-Nai, in the soup." "Sophie, my bao-bao, my baby, my treasure, this is Chinese chicken soup with wonton. I make it for you just the way my Nai-Nai made it for me. Now eat and grow strong." For the rest of the afternoon, Nai-Nai and I had fun painting pictures. But when Daddy came to pick me up, I heard her talking to him about a granddaughter who didn't know the difference between wontons and kreplech. I knew the difference between soup with kreplech and soup with wontons. I just accidentally mixed them up. Bubby's chicken soup had carrots and parsley. Nai-Nai's chicken soup had bamboo shoots and green onions. Wontons are not kreplech. Kreplech are not wontons. A little different, a lot the same, and I could prove it. When I told Mommy and Daddy about my idea, they liked it. So the next week, I invited Bubby and Nai-Nai to our house for lunch. I asked each of them to bring their soup. Soon, Bubby's chicken soup with kreplech simmered on the stove next to Nai-Nai's chicken soup with wontons. "Your soup smells very good, Nancy," Bubby said. "Yours too, Ellie," Nai-Nai said. I took a big serving bowl out of the drawer. Daddy helped me pour in both soups until the two were mixed together. "Presenting the first ever Jewish-Chinese kreplech wonton chicken soup," I said. Mommy ladled the new soup into bowls, and we all sat down at the table. "You know," Bubby said, "to be completely honest, my chicken soup isn't exactly the way my Bubby made it. I buy wonton wrappers to make my kreplech." "So your Jewish soup is a little bit Chinese?" I asked. Bubby nodded. "That's right." "I have something to say too," Nai-Nai said. "I buy the chicken for my soup at the kosher market. The flavor is better." "So your chicken Chinese soup is a little bit Jewish?" I asked. "Yes, it is," Nai-Nai said. "A little Jewish, a little Chinese, a lot like me," I said. "Sophie Chang, you're a genius," Bubby said. "I've always thought so," Nai-Nai agreed. "Kreplech schmecklech, let's eat," Bubby said. "Wait a minute, don't you mean wonton schmonton?" Nai-Nai asked. I laughed and dipped my spoon into my bowl. A bite of kreplech, a taste of wontons. I said. Mommy, Daddy, Bubby, and Nai-Nai all started eating. "A wonderful blend," Bubby said. "The best of both," said Nai-Nai, just like our granddaughter. Suddenly, I knew what made Bubby's and Nai-Nai's soups so much alike. The special ingredient in every bowl of any grandma's soup is love. "Save room, everybody," Bubby said. "I made knishes." "And I brought egg rolls," Nai-Nai said. "Are we talking dough filled with vegetables, then fried?" Bubby asked. "Precisely," Nai-Nai said. I couldn't wait to taste my first egg knish or kneg roll. I knew it would be delicious. The end. In this story, Sophie helps her family to realize that two different chicken soup recipes have the same inspiration, love. And despite our differences, we have more in common than we realize. As Unitarian Universalists, let us reflect on the ways that our principles and sources connect us to other people, traditions, and beliefs beyond our own. Thank you. I now invite the congregation to remain seated and to form a sheltering arc of love as we sing our young people back to their families and out to class.
Our centering words this morning are a prayer by Richard Trudeau entitled, "Help Us Make This Church a Refuge from the World." O God of life, help us make this church a refuge from the world, a place where the rules are different. May this be a place, for example, where no experience is necessary, where people are encouraged to risk new things, where a university administrator can try her hand at plumbing if she wants, or a plumber can help manage the finances, or a banker can teach 5-year-olds. May this be a place where people always feel that their efforts have been worthwhile and their energy well spent. And may this be a place where, as in a children's baseball league, everyone gets to play. Oh God, help us make this church a refuge from the world, a place where the rules are different. May no one feel invisible here or feel worried about what others might be thinking of them. May no one be bored here. If a person isn't interested in what the minister is talking about today, may they be excited by the music or by a conversation at coffee hour. May this be a place where people are touched, if not by something said, then perhaps by something sung, or by the light coming through the windows, or by the sense that the people who come here support one another. May this be a place where everyone feels safe, safe to follow their thoughts wherever they lead, safe to believe whatever they must, and safe to share whatever is on their minds and whatever is in their hearts. Oh God, help us make this church a refuge from the world, a place where the rules are different, a place where our wells can fill up again, where we can be refreshed and renewed so that when we return to the world with our batteries recharged, we can help transform the world into a place where the rules are different. Amen. And blessed be. I still remember so vividly the conversation I had with my mom after my first couple of weeks at First UU Richmond as their social justice intern. Nobody in my family had ever heard of Unitarian Universalism before, including myself, and I was trying to explain to the best of my knowledge at that time what I thought Unitarian Universalism was. I remember saying that I thought that this was a place that you could just believe whatever you want to believe. I remember my first couple of days there, somebody told me they believed in the spaghetti monster, so I really struggled to understand this new world in which I found myself. The only frames of reference for a church that I had was growing up Roman Catholic, and I could tell that UUism definitely wasn't like that. You see, in the church that I grew up in, I was told what I believed. I was discouraged from asking questions. If I thought or believed something different than what I heard from the pulpit, I kept that to myself. So spending time in a UU church and with so many UU people, you could say I had quite the culture shock. Suddenly, I found myself in a world of pagans and Christians, atheists and mystics, Buddhists and Jews, humanists, and those who were still trying to figure it out. I know that the Kelly who stood in a white dress and floral crown taking her first communion would be very confused that a place like this existed. It just didn't make sense. How could so many people with so many different ideas about the world all come together on a Sunday morning and have a church service? And if everyone here could just believe whatever they wanted to believe, why was there a religious label, Unitarian Universalism, on the sign out front? I learned a lot in my first year at the Richmond congregation. The senior minister, Reverend Jean Pupke, would sit with me in her office and we'd have deep theological conversations. She'd ask me questions that I had never been asked before. Why do you believe what you believe? Despite the harm you experienced in the Catholic Church, what good did you learn having been there? What do you believe now? At first, I was incredibly nervous to answer her questions. What if I got the answers wrong? What if I stumbled or, heaven forbid, admitted that I didn't know the answer to her question? Reverend Jean, in all of her infinite wisdom, gave me the space and the time to come to the understanding that not having answers to these questions wasn't a bad thing. Exploring, researching, interacting with others, and learning what they believed are all stepping stones that sometimes get us to the answers we seek, but oftentimes just open the door for new questions. Reverend Jean taught me that Unitarian Universalism is not a place where you can just believe whatever you want to believe. She introduced me to the 7 principles and later the 8th principle. We talked about how Unitarian Universalism is a space of religious plurality, a space of religious diversity that attributes positive meaning to religion and encourages appreciation of religion's many forms. In order for this to be a space in which that is true, we cannot allow this to be a space of intolerance. It's okay to believe what you want, but that does not mean that you can belittle or slander someone for believing differently. That is just inherently not you. As she taught me this valuable lesson, I began realizing that I might identify as a Unitarian Universalist, but I was still confused about what Unitarian Universalism even is, and if my liberal Christian beliefs could find a home here, if I would be accepted, if I admitted that I am a UU Christian. I hoped so. I still hope so. I feel like I have finally found my people. But I still wasn't sure what I believed or how my Christianity fit into this idea of a space of religious plurality. I wrestled with these questions for a long time. I still wrestle with them today. But I keep asking questions. I keep searching out resources to help me better understand my place in the world. And one day, I came across Forrest Church. Forrest Church was the longtime minister at All Souls Unitarian Church in New York City. Reverend Church wrote a lot of books, but it is his final book, published after his death, that I realized I had found what, for me, is the heart of Unitarian Universalism. This book is entitled The Cathedral of the World, a Universalist theology. Reverend Church uses the imagery of a giant cathedral to illustrate what universalism means to him. And right now, if you will join me, I'd like to take a field trip to that cathedral. And if you're comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes. Imagine with me that you are standing in a huge cathedral. Surrounding you is a world of light and dancing shadow, stone and glass, life and death. Look around. This cathedral is as ancient as humankind, its cornerstone, the first altar. You could search this place for your whole life and you would never be able to see everything. You see builders continuing work on this cathedral, work that has been going on from the beginning of time, destroying and creating, confounding and perfecting, tearing down and raising up. Work on this cathedral has never stopped, and the architects who design it don't get to see the completion of their ideas. You see that some of the altars, shrines, and statues have crumbled and lay covered in dust at your feet. Now, turn your attention to the windows, the thousands of stained glass windows along the walls of this cathedral. Some of these windows are covered in dirt and grime, and only a faint light shines through. Others glisten with beams of sunlight refracting off of the individual shards of glass. Some of these windows are abstract. Others, you may be able to make out the imagery. Some windows are more dark and meditative, others are bright and dazzling. Each window tells a story about the creation of the world, the meaning of history, the purpose of life, the nature of humankind, the mystery of death. The windows of the cathedral are where the light shines through. Now return your gaze to the vastness of the cathedral. Take a moment to explore in your mind, and when you're ready, open your eyes and return to this space. This, my friends, is what Forrest Church refers to as the Cathedral of the World. It is so vast, so massive, that we can only take in our small piece of the space. The cathedral has thousands upon thousands of stained glass windows, but we only get to observe a few in our lifetimes. Reverend Church calls our attention to the light that shines through the windows. Regardless of how many windows are in this cathedral, there is one light source that shines through all of them. This light is what Forrest Church refers to as God. You may refer to it as something else. In an interview with PBS, Reverend Church stated that God is not God's name. It's our name for that which is greater than all and yet present in each. It's our construct, our symbol, but it's an arrow pointing toward a reality that is invested in us. Now, some of us may struggle with this idea. We might have experience with fundamentalists who claim that the light shines through their windows only. Or maybe you've witnessed people throw stones through other people's windows. Some here today might believe that the light is the sun, which lights and warms our planet. Or maybe you have another understanding of what this light is, and that's okay. There's beauty in the way the light shows us the tangible world around us, but none of us can deny that there is light. It's shining through our windows right now. We can debate, research, contemplate, learn what that source of light is for ourselves. Heck, we can even change our minds. After all, is there anything more you than freely and responsibly searching for truth and meaning? I wonder what we would create if each of us crafted imagery, either through art or words, of what the stained glass window in our little part of the cathedral looks like. Whatever that would end up looking like is how I describe Unitarian Universalism when I'm asked. Each of us, through our lived experiences, through what we have been taught or learned on our own, through the path our ancestors have paved for us, we see the light through our own pane of glass. And when you put all of those panes together, creating thousands and thousands of windows, you get something truly beautiful. Friends, I don't know what your windows look like. I don't know where you are within the cathedral. But I know that whatever your window looks like and wherever you are exactly where you are supposed to be. If we take the time to look around us, experience that our piece of the cathedral is just a tiny part of the whole, we might find that we're actually standing a lot closer to one another than we may think. I encourage you to take another field trip. Go explore a neighbor's window. Talk to them about yours. We can choose to pick up the stones, and rather than throwing them through others' windows, maybe we can play tic-tac-toe, or hopscotch, or paint them and make a rock garden. I know that this is not always easy. Believe me, I've unfortunately thrown a few stones in my day. But if we choose today to find value in the ways that others see the light shining through their windows, who knows what could happen? I don't know about you, but I, for one, am ready to find out. Amen. Blessed be. May it be so.
There are many ways that our First UU makes a difference in our community. This summer, we are sharing our offering plate with Pro-Choice Ohio and Faith Choice Ohio. Thank you for supporting reproductive rights. Please use the QR code or go to our website, firstucolumbus.org, and click the Donate tab to share as you feel called and are able, or use the offering baskets as they are passed around. Our offering will now be gratefully received. Thank you for your generosity.
When I was a boy, each week, on Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest, and he would read the holy word, and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. I remember feeling sad. Miracles don't happen still, but now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Read a questioning child's face and say it's not a testament. That would be hard to say. See another new morning come and say it's not a sacrament. I'll tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, I saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. Made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. Used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down. Now I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now.
For our caring meditation this morning, I offer words by David Breeden, entitled For Change. For the setting sun from an airplane window, for the rising sun from a train window after riding all night, for the rising sun and setting sun in directions that feel foreign, for the sunlight even when we are lost, for the times the heart has longed to be alone, for the times the heart has ached for another, for leaving in fear, for leaving in hope, for the way home and the way away, for the windows and the suns we have seen, for the windows and the suns we will see, for memory and forgetting, for the change that is our lives. This morning, I would like to lift up, first of all, I take great pleasure in lifting up the ordination yesterday of Reverend Kelly Keel. And this morning, we hold up the challenges that led to the Columbus City School strike and the challenges of that strike. We acknowledge that what parents, students, caregivers, teachers, and all school employees faced during those 3 days. And now that the strike is over, we hold in our hearts the hard work that is now to become to improve the schools. We also hold up those individuals who welcomed students to this church and to other community centers during this strike, working to make a difference in the lives of these children and their parents. We also hold up this morning the lives of the nearly 9,000 asylum seekers who were bused from Texas to New York City and Washington, D.C. in recent months. May their needs be cared for, and may they not be forgotten. And now I would like to invite Bob Mills to come forward and give us our caring cards this morning.
We have 4 joys this morning. The first is congratulations to Chaz and Susan W., who wish to announce the marriage of their son Nathaniel August W. to Jessica Ruth L. at Forrest Church on August 20th. Reverend Kathleen Fowler officiated at this intimate and beautiful service, and they say that they are incredibly grateful and happy. Ron P., announces that he and Jane are delighted to be celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary, 60th, and are traveling this weekend, but they were very sorry to miss Kelly's ordination. We also are celebrating the birthday of Nancy P., who celebrated her 86th birthday on Friday. And finally, GC reports that the Gay Men's Chorus, or Gay Men's Choir, is beginning their winter concert rehearsals in the next few weeks. And he puts in parentheses, they are always looking for new voices. So those are the celebrations this morning. We encourage you, and I'm supposed to remind you that the cards at the caring table are both for Susan and Chaz W., but also for their son and the new bride. So you'll see 2 cards celebrating that wedding. But we encourage you to visit the caring table in Beach Hall after the service to sign those caring cards, whether you know these people or not. This long-time tradition of signing cards in person is an important outreach to members and friends. Even if there are no cards to sign, which there are today, you can stop and say hello to the volunteers.
As I ring our temple bell, I invite you into a moment of shared silence to reflect, imagine, pray, or simply breathe. We will ring the bell a second time to continue our service. May we hold these joys and sorrows and all those yet unspoken gently in our hearts. Our closing words this morning are from J.E. Abernathy, Jr. We affirm that love is our greatest purpose. Accepting one another is the truest form of faithful living. The search for truth is our constant star. We pledge our hearts, minds, and hands to challenge injustice with courage, to find hope in times of fear, and to live out our Unitarian Universalist values every day as a beloved community. Blessed be. If you are online, I invite you to bring your chalice close as we extinguish our flame together. If you are here in person, after the postlude, you are welcome to go into Beach Hall for coffee and conversation. I invite you to join me in speaking our vision statement as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of vision. As we go forth, let us heal and transform ourselves and our world through reason and love. Our flame is extinguished, but the light lives on in our hearts and lives. I invite you now to rise in body or in spirit to sing When the Spirit Says Do. This is number 1024 in your teal hymnal. The lyrics will also be on the screen.
You got to do when the Spirit says do. You got to do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you got to do, oh Lord. You got to do when the Spirit says do. Spirit says do, 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 Spirit says do. You got to sing when the Spirit says sing. You got to sing when the Spirit says sing. When the Spirit says sing, you got to sing, oh Lord. You got to sing when the Spirit says sing. Spirit says sing, 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 Spirit says sing. You got to dance when the Spirit says dance. You got to dance when the Spirit says dance. When the Spirit says dance, you gotta dance, oh Lord. You gotta dance when the Spirit says dance. Spirit says dance, 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 Spirit says dance. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you gotta do, oh Lord. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. Spirit says do, 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 Spirit says do.